Dark is the shit. Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about Dark. When I was first brainstorming this video, I was going to make it a full out why I love it type of thing, but I quickly realized how underrated this show is, so for me it didn't really make any sense to sort of make a spoilery video on it when not a lot of people know about it, which is rather unfortunate because it's one of the best shows I have ever seen, and that's not really an exaggeration, nor am I saying this lightly. So I want to give a few reasons as to why you should watch it. Dark first premiered on Netflix in 2017, and as of the recording of this video has had 2 seasons with the 3rd season confirmed, which will most likely be a series finale. When this show was first announced and the trailer for it dropped, a lot of people called it the German Stranger Things, and rightfully so. The trailer showcased several kids going missing in a small German town, and there's a group of kids riding their bicycles. So the comparisons came in quickly. Understandably though, the creators of Dark grew up in the same era as the Duffer Brothers, reading and watching the same kind of media, so they were inspired by similar things. But aside from the initial premise, these two shows are vastly different. Dark tells a complex story that spans through generations of 4 families whose history is deeply rooted in the small town of Winden. At the heart of the show is Jonas, who is grieving the death of his father but has somehow managed to find himself in a spiderweb that he must unravel. So what makes Dark so special? Well, it's a number of things. The first being the plot. It's essentially a spoiler. I'm going to try and dance around what the plot device of the show is because it plays out like a mystery, and if I were to tell you, I would be spoiling it, and I don't want to ruin that for you since the reveal is such a genuine surprise. It's a plot device that at this point is filled with tiring cliches and leaps in logic, and the creators of Dark could have very much gone that route, but they don't. Instead, they tackle it in a way that feels new and fresh. They take this plot device and treat it seriously and intelligently, and they raise a lot of philosophical questions about its implications. It also has a lot of twists and turns that are handled very well and are believable within what was foreshadowed beforehand. It's not only the plot that's so great, but also the characters that elevate the story, because it's very much a character-driven show. Although Jonas is pretty much the protagonist, the show relies on the ensemble cast to weave its story threads together. The 4 families the show focuses on are the Canwalds, Nielsen's, Dopplers, and the Tiedemans, and the way their lives intertwine during this crisis. These actors were perfectly casted, and they do a very good job at bringing these characters to life. These characters are fleshed out and well-rounded. They feel so real. Early on, these characters really live up to the name of the show, as you quickly realize how dark they can be. These characters treat each other pretty shitty more often than not, and they're bad husbands and wives and children. Yet, despite these faults, you care for them and you even feel sorry for them when they find themselves in a situation beyond their control. You'll love some of them, you'll love to hate others, and you'll even hate to love a few of them. And what's really cool about them is that these characters are important to the overarching story. For example, I hated this character, and each time the story focused on him, I kind of rolled my eyes and hoped that the scene would be over quickly, but then there was an entire episode that was mostly devoted to him, and I completely loved it. I understood his character and I saw his tragedy. That's a big part of the series. Can these characters learn from their past mistakes, or will they be doomed to continue repeating these patterns? The one thing that really sold me on the show were the montages. The first time it's done is in episode 2, I believe, and when the scene kicked in and the music plays, a literal shiver went down my spine. It was great. The music they use for these montages is so haunting and mesmerizing, and it adds more emotional weight to the episodes. These montages essentially show us the payoff of the episode, whether it be the implications of a character's decisions or how a character relates to another. But okay, I'll stop before saying anything more that might be spoilery. It's such a shame that it's not getting as much attention outside of Germany as it deserves, and I feel the reason for it is because it's in German. Outside of anime, people aren't really interested on relying on subtitles or even a dubbed version of a live action TV show. Regardless, you should definitely watch it. I'm so grateful for Netflix, whose content knows no bound, where we can easily watch stuff such as international shows that would have otherwise been impossible to do. Also for having content like this that is so continuity heavy, that utilizes the binge formula to its full extent. Each season feels like a 10-hour movie that it would have been killed halfway through season 1 if it were on network TV. I hope this convinced you or got you interested in at least watching the first 2 episodes to see if it hooks you just the way it hooked me. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you all next time.